It's 3:42 in the morning. The kind of morning where you can hear every creak in the walls. The air's cold, colder than it should be for this time of year. There's a kind of sharp stillness outside, like even the wind is holding its breath. I'm Jack Sullivan. This is Station 11.9. Used to be just local broadcasts out of Iron Ridge County, but I guess that doesn't matter now. We're running on backup diesel, and I've got enough to keep this old rig going for maybe 4 or 5 days tops unless I figure something else out. The regular lines are gone. Towers down. Phones haven't worked in over 18 hours. Nobody's checking in. No updates from the Capitol. No emergency signals, except that one scrambled loop from Cleveland. I'll get to that. Stores open. No rules. What's the first stupid thing you grab before the shelves are empty? Let me know in the comments below. I don't know how many of you are still listening, or if this is even reaching beyond these mountains, but if you can hear me, stay where you are. Lock your doors. Barricade them if you can. Don't go outside after dark. Not even for a second. Something's happening. Something I can't explain, but I've seen it. It started 2 nights ago. That's when things first went off the rails. We'd just finished dinner. Wind was picking up something fierce. Thought it was just a storm. Some kind of early cold front sweeping in from up north. But around 10:30, the town lost power. Just gone. No warning. Whole grid flatlined. That's not unusual for us out here, so nobody panicked at first. You could still hear people lighting candles, cranking generators, getting ready for bed. But around midnight, the screams started. They came from down near the old rail yard. That's about a half-mile west of the station. I remember thinking it sounded like animals at first. Not people. Not really. But the tones kept shifting, warping in a way that made the hairs on my neck stand up. They were low at first, barely audible, then louder, closer, then just gone. Nobody said anything about it the next morning. Small towns are good at ignoring the things they're not ready to deal with. But that same day, the Baker family vanished. No note, no signs of a struggle. Their truck still in the driveway, but the front door, torn clean off the hinges, I saw it myself. It was like someone or something ripped it off with a damn crowbar, except there weren't any tool marks. Just these long, deep gouges running down the wood like claws. Real claws. Not dogs, not bears. Something bigger, stronger. I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just come out with it. I think something's hunting us. I know how it sounds. Believe me, I do. I used to laugh at people like that. Crazy stories on late-night AM stations, raving about skinwalkers, cryptids, demons in the woods. But it doesn't feel funny now. It feels like we're next. By sundown yesterday, half the streetlights in town were flickering like cheap horror movie props. Most folks stayed inside, smart ones anyway. But even behind closed doors, you could feel it. The pressure, like something in the air shifted. Around 1:15 this morning, I saw it. No, I didn't want to. I wasn't out looking. I was in here, doing what I'm doing now. Talking to nothing, hoping someone was still out there. But then the motion lights on the east side of the station came on. I looked out the window, and there it was. It wasn't human, but it used to be. You could see the pieces of it, just stretched wrong, muscles too thick for its frame, bones cracked out of shape. Its eyes were glowing, but not like a reflection. They burned, like something inside it was alive in a way we aren't. And its mouth, God, its mouth was too wide. It had blood on its chest, fresh, still dripping. It was watching me. I didn't move, couldn't move. For 30 seconds, maybe more, it just stared. Then it turned and walked back into the tree line, like it was done for the night. I don't know how to explain what that does to your brain, to watch something like that move, like it has a purpose, like it knows you, like it chose to leave you alive. And now, here I am, still here, still breathing, still transmitting, for whatever that's worth. Look, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to keep you alive. Whatever this is, it's not isolated. It's spreading. I've heard distant reports, static-filled ones, from places I've never even been. People whispering about shapes in the woods, entire campsites vanishing, search parties never coming back. I think it's organized, or evolving, or both. That loop I mentioned earlier, the one from Cleveland, it's been playing non-stop for the past 10 hours. Half the signal's fried, but the parts I could make out say this: stay inside, avoid the moonlight, do not trust familiar faces. Let that sink in for a second. Avoid the moonlight. At first I thought maybe it was some chemical thing, some weird exposure to a neurotoxin, maybe something that only activates at night. But now I'm not so sure this is science anymore. I used to work with a guy, Carl Emerson, retired engineer, big into amateur radio. He called in last night. Said he picked up weird pulses on shortwave bands, real low frequencies, scattered like heartbeat patterns across the dial. He swore it wasn't solar or atmospheric. Said it felt more intentional. That was the word he used. Intentional. I haven't heard from Carl since. I know you're tired. I know you're scared. So am I. I haven't slept since this all started. My hands won't stop shaking. But we can't afford to freeze up. Not now. If you're listening, take this seriously. Lock your windows. Block the light. Don't leave food out. Keep something sharp nearby. Not for show, for defense. And for God's sake, don't go looking for anyone who's already gone missing. They're not coming back. And if they do, they won't be the same. I'm gonna keep broadcasting as long as I can. Next update at dawn, assuming we make it that far. Until then, don't trust what you see outside your window. Not tonight. Not under that moon. It's 7:02 a.m. I'm still here. The sun came up about 20 minutes ago, but it didn't bring much warmth with it. Everything outside looks bleached, colorless, like the light doesn't know how to be light anymore. And it's quiet. I mean, bone-deep quiet. No birds, no wind. Just the buzz of the backup generator coughing through another gallon of diesel. I didn't sleep. Not really. Just sat here, waiting, listening. I heard something about an hour before dawn. Footsteps on gravel. Not many, maybe 2 or 3 sets, walking real slow. I turned the lights off, held my breath, and didn't move. They passed by the front of the station and kept walking, down the hill, toward the elementary school. That place hasn't had power in days. No heat, no lights. No reason to go near it unless you're not looking for shelter. Unless you're looking for something else. I don't know who they were. I didn't recognize the silhouettes. But the way they moved, it was wrong. There's no other word for it. They were hunched, not from exhaustion, but like their bodies didn't quite fit. One of them dragged a foot. Another one stopped, turned, and I swear to God, it sniffed the air like a bloodhound. and then it smiled. I don't even know if I believe in God anymore. But that face, I hope no one else has to see a smile like that. I've been going through the last emergency packets I got from the NOAA feed before everything went down. Most of it's scrambled or empty, but there's this one timestamp, 3:17 a.m., 2 nights ago. The night this all began. It's just a single line burst that reads, Bioform escape, Coyote Base, Holdfast Ridge, repeat, Bioform escape. Coyote Base. That's not a real name, at least not officially, but I've heard it whispered before. There's a facility about 50 miles west of here, tucked deep into the old mountains. Nobody ever talks about it, but locals say you can sometimes see black vans coming and going through the tree line. No markings, no lights. Used to be just tinfoil hat stuff. But now, I'm not so sure. If what got loose came from there, it means someone made it, built it, or dug it up. And whatever it is, it's spreading fast. I've got reports, scratched out on paper, scribbled from survivors who dropped by here 2 nights ago before going silent again. One of them was a nurse from Hillvale Clinic. Said she treated 2 patients who came in with what looked like deep lacerations, ripped from shoulder to hip. Said the wounds weren't just torn, they were cauterized, like something burned through the skin even as it ripped it open. She said they were still alive when they arrived, and both of them were dead within an hour. Their hearts exploded. She told me that. Her words, not mine. I haven't seen her since. Her name was Callie. Brown coat, freckles, late 20s. If you're still out there, Callie, I hope you made it. I really do. There's a lot of questions I can't answer. Hell, I can barely ask them out loud without feeling like I'm losing it. But if you've seen what I've seen, if you've heard the noises at night, or found claw marks on your front door, you know something's not right. It's not just here. This isn't local, it's national, maybe even global. I scanned through every frequency on the dial. Most are just dead air or static, but there's this one, the old AM military band, that's been playing the same signal on a loop. It cuts in and out, but I caught pieces of it. It says, containment has failed. Targets are not susceptible to standard deterrence. Moonlight triggers phase transition. Seek subterranean shelter. Avoid vocal contact. Do not engage. Moonlight triggers phase transition. That means what you think it means. This isn't some virus. It's not rabies. This isn't some new plague that turns people into drooling monsters. It's something else. And the worst part is, we're not even fighting back. There's no response, no air support, no convoys rolling through to evacuate. If there are military assets left, they're not being sent here. Maybe they can't be. Or maybe we're not on the list anymore. I think they cut us loose. You know what scares me the most? It's not the thing outside. It's not even the idea that people are being turned into animals, or worse. It's that somewhere, somebody knew this could happen. They had protocols, warnings, code words, and they still let it out. I found something else earlier this morning. There's a school bus parked out behind the Shell station down the road, just sitting there. All the windows busted out. Blood on the steps. No kids. No driver. But someone had scrawled a word into the side of the bus with their fingernails. It said, Skinwalk. I don't know what it means. Maybe it was a final warning. Or maybe whoever wrote it was trying to say the thing that got them. Was wearing a face that wasn't its own. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's not just werewolves. It's worse. These things, they're pretending to be people. They're using our skin, our language, our memories. I don't know if they're infected or if they're imitating, but I know this. Whatever they are, they're smarter than us now. I saw a man this morning standing at the edge of the road by the gas station. From the back, he looked like my neighbor Gary. Same jacket, same posture. I almost shouted out to him. Then he turned around. It wasn't Gary. It wasn't even human. It had the same face, sure, but the skin was wrong. Too tight, too stretched, like it was barely holding on to something else beneath it. And the eyes, those weren't Gary's eyes. He didn't blink. He didn't move. Just stood there, looking at the station. Then he walked away. I don't think they can get in here. Not yet, anyway. I've reinforced the doors, barred the windows, shut off every light except this little green emergency bulb above the mic. But I don't know how long I can hold out. I've got 3 jugs of water left, 2 cans of beans, a pocket knife, and a half-dead flashlight. This is what the end of the world looks like. It's not fire. It's not bombs. It's silence. Cold. The smell of something old and wet creeping through the walls. And the fear that the next voice you hear might not be a person at all. If you're still alive, if you're still listening, write it down. Document what's happening. Even if no one ever reads it. Even if the lights never come back on. Someone, someday, has to know what happened here. We were warned, we ignored it, and now we're paying for it. I'll be back at noon, or sooner if something changes. Until then, trust your gut. Lock your doors. Watch the shadows. And don't believe every voice that calls your name. Not now. Not anymore. It's 12:06 p.m. Midday. But you wouldn't know it by looking outside. The sky's the color of old ash. Pale, flat, almost metallic. Sunlight isn't sunlight anymore. It's just this thin gray smear across the ground. There's no heat in it. No life. Just a dull pressure that makes everything feel off, like the world's forgetting how to breathe. I cracked the studio window about half an hour ago, just enough to stick my hand out. The wind's gone stale, cold but not sharp, more like the air inside a crawl space. No birds, no bugs, just the soft hiss of branches moving in a rhythm that doesn't match the wind. Something's changed. And I don't mean in some metaphorical, we've lost our humanity kind of way. I mean physically, environmentally. The atmosphere's wrong. I don't know if it's coming from the ground or the sky, but the light bends funny now. Everything looks warped at the edges, like reality's out of focus. I don't have instruments here, just this mic, a backup battery, and the old analog meters on the wall. But those meters, they've been twitching since dawn. Electromagnetic interference levels are through the roof. Every time I tap the transmitter, it hums. That's not supposed to happen. It only hums like that when there's a surge, like it's trying to pull something in that isn't electricity. I've started grounding the frame with copper wire, just in case. I don't know if this is biological, environmental, or something else, but whatever started this, it's still happening. The change isn't over. I tried to raise a few of the other old broadcast towers nearby. Denton, Holloway, Millstone. Nothing but static. I sent a shortwave ping to the weather station up near Avery Hill and waited 15 minutes. All I got back was white noise, until about 20 seconds in, something clicked. A voice broke through. Male. Calm. Didn't say a name. Just said, "We are no longer the dominant species." Then it cut out. That was it. No explanation. No context. And the worst part is, I think he's right. I've lived in Iron Ridge most of my life. We're used to the occasional blackout, the storm season knocking trees into power lines, the grocery store running low on milk and bread. But this is different. This isn't just another disaster. This feels like the beginning of something bigger, something none of us are equipped to deal with. I walked up the ridge behind the station about an hour ago. Just needed to move. Think. Watch. From the top, you can see the whole town, or what's left of it. Most of the houses are still there, untouched, but they look hollow, empty, like nobody's inside anymore. There's a thick black smear near the old train overpass, burned cars, melted tires, soot rising in slow columns like smoke from a campfire that's already gone cold. I counted 6 vehicles, all of them pointed in different directions. None of them crashed. They just stopped. Something made those people get out fast, and none of them made it far. There's a red sweater in the road. Looked like a child's. No body near it. Just drag marks. I want to believe there's a rational explanation. That maybe some group came through and evacuated a few families. That they're huddled somewhere safe, warm, waiting for the power to come back. But that's not the feeling I get. The feeling I get is that the town emptied itself. Or got emptied. And now, whatever emptied it, is watching the rest of us. I don't want to scare you, but it's getting harder to pretend this is just some freak event. People are changing. Places are changing. I walked past a row of birch trees just before I came back down the hill, and I swear they were bleeding. Not sap, not amber, blood, thick and dark, pooled at the base of the trunks like someone bled out right there and nobody noticed. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe the sleep deprivation's finally catching up. But it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like the trees were sick, too. I think the land itself is starting to turn. A woman came to the door earlier this morning. Her name was Lana. Late 30s, travel pack slung over one shoulder, wide eyes. Said she walked in from Hartwell. That's 12 miles east of here. She said she hadn't seen another living person in 3 days. Her words. Said the streets were full of clothing, shoes, phones, but no bodies. Just signs that people were there, and then weren't. I asked her if she heard anything strange on her way through the valley. She nodded. Said she heard breathing. Not hers. Not an animal's. Something big. Something slow. Coming from underneath the ground. She said it followed her the whole way here. She's sleeping in the old server room now, wrapped in a quilt someone left behind. I locked the doors, triple-checked the bolts. She hasn't said a word since. Just stares at the wall and trembles every time she hears the generator kick back on. Something broke in her. Something she saw. And I don't know how to help. I can still hear that old Noah line playing back in my head. Do not trust familiar faces. It keeps looping in my mind over and over, and I can't stop wondering how many of us are still really us. I don't mean that in a sci-fi alien invasion kind of way. I mean, if these things can wear us like costumes, if they can take our voices, our memories, our skin, how would we even know? How many people have you waved to this week that might not have been people anymore? How many doors have you opened because someone outside sounded like your brother, your neighbor, your wife? I don't have answers, just questions, and the sound of the wind howling through broken windows all across this town. There's something else I've noticed too. The moon. It's been full 3 nights in a row. That shouldn't be possible. It should have started waning by now. But it's not. It's still up there, still huge, still bright, like it's stuck, like the whole sky is locked in a loop. And every night it shines down, more things go wrong. The power gets weaker. The air gets colder. The things outside get bolder. It's almost like the moon is feeding them. I don't know what we're dealing with anymore. Not exactly. But I think we were wrong to call them werewolves. That word doesn't fit. It's too old, too specific. These things aren't beasts. They're an infection, an idea, a shape you step into and forget how to get out of. They don't just hunt, they replace. We're not being stalked. We're being rewritten. And I don't know how long we have before it starts happening in here too. I'll check in again at dusk, if I make it that far. Stay low. Stay sharp. Don't follow voices. And if you hear someone you love calling to you from the woods, run the other way, because they're already gone. It's 6:41 p.m. The sun's already gone behind the ridge, but it shouldn't be this dark yet. There's something in the air, dust maybe, or smoke. Hard to tell. The clouds are lower than they were this morning, thicker, like they're pressing down on us, like the sky's trying to smother the world 1 inch at a time. The trees outside are still, not from lack of wind. They're listening, watching. You ever get that feeling when you're walking down an empty hallway, and even though you know you're alone, you swear something's right behind you? That's what this feels like. All the time now. It's in the silence. The way the birds stopped first, then the dogs, then the people. One by one. Every layer of noise peeled away, until all that's left is your own breathing, and the sound of things outside pretending not to exist until you make the mistake of opening the door. I haven't eaten today. My stomach's starting to cramp. Doesn't matter. I'm not hungry anymore. Not the kind of hunger that food fixes. I'm starting to lose track of what time it is, even with the old clock on the wall ticking away like it always has. It's hard to know what's real when the sky doesn't match the hour anymore. Lana's still here. She hasn't spoken since this morning, but she's awake now, sitting in the corner with a blanket wrapped tight around her shoulders, knees pulled up. Every few minutes, she rocks forward and mutters something under her breath. I leaned in earlier, just enough to hear. She kept saying the same thing over and over. It's inside the shape of the thing I loved. She won't explain what that means, but I think I understand. I think she saw someone she used to care about after they'd changed. And I think whatever it was, smiled back. I've been watching the road. About half an hour ago, a pickup came crawling up from the southern stretch, real slow, headlights flickering like the wiring was dying. I grabbed the radio mic, started calling out, asked who it was, if they needed help, if they were safe. No response. The truck stopped right at the edge of the station's driveway. Didn't turn off the engine. Just sat there. No movement inside. Tinted windows. Couldn't see anything. 10 minutes passed. Then the engine died. No door opened. No one got out. But there were handprints on the inside of the windshield. Not greasy or dirty. Bloody. Dozens of them. Pressed flat against the glass like someone, or something, had been trying to claw its way out. I haven't gone down to check it. I won't. If whatever was in there is still inside, I don't want it to know I'm watching. Lana started humming the old hymn, Come Ye Sinners, around the same time the truck showed up. Her voice is shaky, like the song is the only thing keeping her tethered to what's left of her mind. She's missing 3 fingernails. I didn't ask how. The last news I got from outside came over a broken scan line. Scattered bursts from a station out near Marlow Point. Whoever was on the other end sounded like they were broadcasting from a closet, whispering through a tin can. They said something about lunar synchronization. Said the things out there, whatever's walking around wearing people's skin, they change with the moonlight, not just physically, but mentally. That they align. Align with what? I don't know. Some old pattern? Some force we stopped believing in when we started lighting cities with neon and concrete? The transmission didn't last. Cut out halfway through a sentence. But before it died, I heard one more phrase I can't stop thinking about. They hear through the light. They see through sound. I've turned down every bulb in here, covered the studio windows in blackout cloth. I keep my voice low now, even on air. I don't know if it helps, but I haven't been found yet. Maybe that's why. There are claw marks on the rear door of the building now. Fresh ones. Thin, parallel grooves down the frame, just deep enough to splinter the wood. They weren't there this morning. Something tried to get in last night. Didn't break the lock. Didn't smash the glass. Just scratched and waited. Scratched and waited. Like it was reminding me I'm not alone. I've started dreaming in reverse. That's the only way I can describe it. I fall asleep, and instead of seeing memories or fears, I see places I've never been, but feel like I should know. Long tunnels lit by flickering lamps, rooms where people sit at tables with no mouths, just rows of teeth down their throats, forests that breathe like lungs. I think these dreams aren't mine. I think they're being shown to me. Or maybe I'm tuning into something that was always there, just hidden under the surface of what we call normal. Lana woke up screaming last night, said the ceiling had eyes. When I looked, there were water stains, but in the shape of a face, just for a second. Then they faded. I haven't been able to stop staring at that spot since. I miss my brother. I miss coffee that didn't taste like fear. I miss light switches that worked and the sound of lawnmowers on Saturday mornings. I miss people. Not just their voices, but their weight in a room. Their noise. Their stupid laughter. Their humming when they thought no one could hear. I miss knowing the things I saw made sense. But that world's gone now. We're not in the collapse anymore. We're past it. We're in the quiet after. When the new world starts to grow out of the cracks in the old one. And it's not waiting for permission. I think it wants us to join it. One by one. Quietly. Without a fight. Like shadows sliding across a wall until the whole thing goes black. There's a phrase someone carved into the side of the old church near the town square. I passed it during a supply run 2 days ago. It said, "Become what you fear, or be devoured by it." I didn't understand it then. I think I do now. Whatever's coming, it's not going to be loud. It's not going to be flames and bombs and screams. It's going to be slow, creeping. A soft invitation whispered through teeth that don't belong to you. And if you say yes, if you listen too long, you won't even remember you were ever anything else. I'll be back before midnight. If I'm still breathing, if this signal goes dark, know that I tried. Know that I stayed until the very last second. And know this, There is still something human in me, even if the world forgets what that means. Don't follow the lights. Don't speak to the voices. Don't leave the house after dark. This is Jack Sullivan. Still here. Still me. For now. It's 11:59 p.m. The generator is running louder than usual tonight. It has this stuttering cough every few minutes, like it's trying to remind me how close I am to the end of the line. There's maybe half a gallon of diesel left in the tank. After that, it's candles, if I can find any. If I'm honest, I don't think I'm scared of the dark anymore. Not like I used to be. The dark doesn't lie. The dark doesn't pretend to be someone you knew. The dark doesn't knock on the door and call you by your name using a voice it stole from your childhood. It just stays dark. A few hours ago, I heard the emergency broadcast tone kick in on Channel 2. That's not supposed to be possible. Nobody's been maintaining that line for days. But it came on. Same flat tone we all know too well, followed by that dead voice reading coordinates. The location was a ridge about 6 miles north of town. And then, as clear as I'm speaking now, it said, "Biological extraction begins at 0300 hours. Target retention is non-essential. Civilian deterrence authorized." I wrote it down 3 times, just to be sure. Target retention is non-essential. Civilian deterrence authorized. That means they're not trying to save anyone. They're not even trying to contain it anymore. Whatever broke loose, whatever's taking over, it's bigger than us now. Bigger than orders. Bigger than cities. Bigger than borders. They're coming to burn it all. I stepped outside for a few minutes, just before I went live. I know. I said not to go outside. But sometimes, when everything inside is screaming, you need to feel the air again, just to remember it still exists. The moon is wrong tonight. I don't just mean it's bright or full or stuck in place. It's lower, closer, like it's watching on purpose. The shadows it casts bend the wrong way. Not away from the light, but toward it. Like the darkness is being pulled in, not pushed back. And under that light, the trees move. Even when the wind dies, they sway. I watched one split at the trunk and stitch itself shut again. No blood, no noise, just bark peeling like skin and something sliding underneath. I've lived through snowstorms, wildfires, floods, brownouts, a year-long recession, and the worst 4th of July parade in Iron Ridge history. But I've never seen the woods breathe. I think the infection isn't just in people anymore. It's in everything. The air, the water, the roots. Maybe the moonlight doesn't just trigger something in the body. It feeds the world. It changes what it touches, turns it into more of itself. I've got a cut on my wrist. Shallow, from when I tripped in the back room trying to dig out old batteries. It was nothing yesterday. Just a scratch. Now it's black at the edges. Not scabbing, dark. Veins radiating from the wound like frost on glass. I don't feel sick. Yet. But I've been colder lately. Like there's something moving beneath my skin that isn't blood. Lana saw it. She didn't say anything. Just looked at it and backed away. She's sleeping in the hallway now. Keeps a hammer under her coat. I don't blame her. I told her if I start to change, if my voice doesn't sound like me anymore, she needs to end it. She didn't argue. I've been thinking a lot about endings lately. What it means to hold on to something human when everything around you stops being that. What it means to remember how to be kind when the world teaches you only how to run and hide. What it means to stay. That's what this is, right? This broadcast, It's me staying, even when it's hopeless. Even when I'm shaking so hard I can barely keep my hands on the mic. Even when the lights flicker and something groans in the rafters and I wonder if the voice I'm hearing through the walls is still my own. I stay, because someone might be listening, and because silence is worse. The thing I keep coming back to, the question I can't shake, is why now? Why did this start now? What was the moment, the trigger, the choice that tipped this over the edge? Was it something we built? Something we woke up? Something we called down from the sky without understanding the cost? Or did it grow here quietly all along, waiting? There's a school bus flipped on its side just off the main road into town. I passed it yesterday. Didn't want to talk about it until now. There's a message scratched into the side in metal filings. Not paint. Not blood. Something harder. Like bone. It said, "The wolf is the door." I don't know what that means. Not exactly. But I've been sitting with it for hours now. The wolf isn't the monster. The wolf isn't the thing coming through. The wolf is the door, the invitation, the mask. The moment you say yes. I've been hearing howls from the mountains, long, slow, lonely, but they don't sound like wolves anymore. Too deep, too rhythmic, almost like singing, like something celebrating. I think it's calling others. I think it's winning. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how many people are left. But if you're hearing this, you're still you. That matters. Hold on to it. Don't give it up. Don't let the quiet in. Don't trade your name for peace. I'll keep going. Until the power's gone. Until my voice breaks. Until whatever's clawing under my skin finally figures out how to rewrite me too. But until that happens, I'll keep telling the truth. And the truth is, we're still here. This is Jack Sullivan. I remember who I am, and I remember what I'm not. For now. It's 4:11 a.m., still dark. Of course it is. I don't think the sun's coming back. The sky has this copper sheen now, like old blood smeared across glass. The stars haven't come out in days, or maybe they've just been covered up. The clouds aren't really clouds anymore. They don't move. They just hang there, heavy and humming, like they're listening for something, or someone. The moon's still there, though, bigger than ever. Too big. It's not right. The shadows it casts curve inward now. I saw a power line outside bending in two directions at once, one toward the light, the other toward its own reflection on the ground. Something's pulling everything in two. I haven't slept in over 30 hours. I tried, but every time I close my eyes, I see the same thing. People kneeling in a circle with their mouths open, no sound coming out, just eyes wide, neck veins bulging, their mouths shaped around a howl they can't release. And above them, a shape. Something with fur and hands and ribs that pulse like a second heartbeat. It doesn't walk, it waits, and the people kneeling, they love it. Not fear, not worship, love. That's what's killing me. That's the part that won't leave me alone. Whatever this thing is, whatever this sickness, this transformation, it doesn't just take your body. It convinces you to offer it freely. I've been watching Lana. She's quieter now. Doesn't ask for food. Doesn't flinch when the generator kicks. She just sits near the north wall and stares at the corner where the ceiling meets the beam, She says she hears a tapping at night, nails against metal, like something wants her to know it's waiting, but not in a hurry. She asked me earlier if I ever wondered what it would feel like to forget everything. I didn't answer, because I have. I found something this morning. In the drawer beneath the main console, a Polaroid, old, faded, a photo of me and my brother Sam sitting on the hood of Dad's truck out by Lake Morello. I must have been 8 or 9. He was older, holding a fishing pole, grinning like he didn't have a clue the world would ever be anything but blue skies and mosquito bites. I barely remembered that day until I saw the photo. And then it hit me, like I'd been unplugged from this nightmare for just a second. I remembered the smell of lake water. I remembered the sound of Sam laughing when I fell in. I remembered what it meant to be human. We can't lose that. Whatever happens, whatever this thing is, if it takes our memories, if it makes us forget who we are, if it rewrites our faces and bends our bones, we still have to hold on to something. Because if we forget what made us people, we're already gone. That might be what it wants, not our death, our absence, our surrender. Quiet, willing, complete. I've started to feel things that aren't mine. I walked past the bathroom mirror about an hour ago, caught my reflection in the corner of my eye. I wasn't looking straight at it, but something inside the glass moved slower than I did. Its eyes lingered. Its mouth didn't close when mine did. I smashed the mirror. It didn't bleed. That should make me feel better, but it doesn't. The cut on my wrist is spreading. It doesn't hurt. That's the problem. It feels warm now. Comforting. Like it wants to be there. I know I need to clean it. Wrap it. But every time I try, my hand hesitates. That's how it starts, I think. Not a bite. Not a scream in the night. Just the slow turning of the self into something else. I've been thinking about the phrase again. The wolf is the door. What if we're not being attacked? What if we're being invited? That makes more sense, doesn't it? Why no one's fighting? Why there's no military response? No news? Just people disappearing, slipping out of their homes in the middle of the night, like they heard a song only they could understand. Maybe they did. I've had tinnitus in my left ear for 20 minutes now. A high-pitched ringing, sharp and steady, but it's not painful. It's layered. Underneath it, if I really focus, there's something else, something low, rhythmic, breathing, like I'm hearing the lungs of something bigger than this world. I know I sound like I'm unraveling. I probably am. But that doesn't make this less real. There's a house at the edge of town, just past where the pavement ends and the gravel starts to climb toward the hills. Used to be an old orchard there. Now it's a shell, empty, windows smashed, curtains shredded. But the swing in the front yard, still moving. No wind, just swaying. Back and forth. Steady. I watched it for 10 minutes this afternoon. And then it stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. Like someone grabbed it mid-swing and held it still. But there was nothing there. I turned and ran. Didn't stop until I was back here. I don't care if it sounds childish. I've learned to listen to fear. It's the only honest thing left. Lana's stopped blinking. I know how that sounds, but I swear it's true. She'll stare for minutes at a time, eyes wide, glassy, unmoving. No tears, no dryness, like her body doesn't remember it's supposed to protect itself. She spoke once. Just once. She said, "They're not coming to kill us. They're coming to fix us." And then she laughed. Not the laugh of someone who thought it was a joke. The laugh of someone who finally understood something awful. I locked the hallway door. I didn't tell her. I just turned the bolt and walked away. I'll keep the mic open until sunrise if it comes. If this is my last broadcast, if whatever's inside me spreads too far, too fast, I want this to be clear. I remember who I was. I remember the way the world used to feel. And if I go, I hope there's still someone out there who won't. Don't look into their eyes. Don't follow their voice. Don't forget your own name. This is Jack Sullivan, still trying, still holding on. It's 8:58 a.m. The sky looks bruised, not blue, not even gray, bruised. A kind of sickly purple with veins of orange running through it like rust in the clouds. It's bright, but not sunlight, more like the glow off the surface of something dying. There's a humming now, constant, low and steady, like power lines stretching across an empty field. But there's no power anymore, no lines humming, no electricity except what's left in the Radio Shack's bones. So where is it coming from? It's not in my ears. It's in the walls, in the floor, in the fillings in my teeth. Even when I cover my ears, I can feel it vibrating in the meat of me. Like it's tuning everything, me, the station, the air, into the same frequency. I think something's coming. Not fast, not loud, just inevitable. I checked the perimeter of the station this morning. The claw marks from last night are gone. Not painted over, not repaired. Gone. Like they were never there. But I remember them. I know they were there. There's something else too. The trees. They've moved again. I know how that sounds. But the line of pine that used to border the back of the lot, they've shifted forward at least 20 feet. The roots are still buried. The trunks are still upright. But they're closer. Closer than they should be. I walked around back and saw footprints in the mud. Bare feet. Human-shaped. Dozens. Hundreds. All facing the building. Like a crowd had stood there for hours in silence. And then just vanished. I'm running out of things to explain this with. Science left the room a long time ago. This is something else. Something older than science. Older than memory. Something that isn't interested in being studied or understood. It just is. Lana isn't eating anymore. Won't drink either. She just sits with her back against the door, arms folded across her chest, like she's waiting for an answer to a question she hasn't asked out loud. She mumbled something earlier. Said, "They're under the skin of the world now." I asked what that meant. She said, "The earth is hollow and dreaming." Then she went quiet again. I've thought about leaving. About grabbing what's left in the storeroom and making a run for the ridge, trying to find higher ground. Maybe a signal. Maybe people. But something holds me here. Not courage. Not duty. Just this feeling that the moment I leave this building, I won't be me anymore. Like something is waiting outside that can only reach me if I step over the threshold willingly. And I'm not ready for that. Not yet. I found a journal under the control board. One of those old composition notebooks with the black and white speckled cover. It's mine. My handwriting. But I don't remember writing in it. The first page is dated 6 days ago. The entry says, "It's starting." I saw it in the mirror. My reflection blinked before I did. The second page is blank. The third just says, "Don't let them take your name." After that, nothing. Just page after page of pen pressed hard into paper, like I was trying to dig a hole through the book. No words, just pressure. I don't know if I wrote it in my sleep, or if something else did. But it's mine, and it scares the hell out of me. The moon's still in the sky, by the way, middle of the morning, and it's just hanging there, huge and low and wrong. It hasn't shifted in days. Every time I look at it, I feel like it's looking back. Not figuratively, I mean it. It knows I'm watching. Last night I tried covering the windows again, adding more layers over the cracks. But even through all that fabric, the light came through. Pale, almost white-blue, like the world was being bathed in frost from the inside out. I saw Lana step into it, just for a second. She opened the door to the hallway and let the light hit her face. She smiled, and when I shouted, when I begged her to close it, she did. But her eyes stayed bright for an hour afterward, like the light had burned something into her. Maybe we were wrong all along. Maybe it's not a virus, not a mutation, not some failed experiment. Maybe the moon is the vector, not a rock, not a satellite, a signal, and we're the receivers. How long can you stare at something before it starts to change you? I don't know anymore. I don't trust the things I hear at night. I don't trust the way my voice sounds when I say my name out loud. I don't trust my hands, but I trust this, the microphone, the signal, the sound of my voice in the dark. As long as I can talk, I'm still here. As long as I can speak, I remember what I was. Before the trees started whispering. Before the earth started breathing. Before the people I loved became empty rooms that answered back in the wrong voice. Don't look at the moon. Don't let the silence name you. Don't believe the world when it tells you you're alone. Because if you are, if you really are, that means nothing's left but them. And they're waiting. This is Jack Sullivan. Still here. Still trying. If you're listening, whisper your name under your breath. Say it until it sounds wrong. Then say it again. And hold on. It's 3:02 p.m. At least that's what the clock says. I don't trust it anymore. Not really. Time feels loose now, like it's slipping off the reel. I'll blink and an hour passes. Or I'll talk for what feels like half the day, and it's only been 5 minutes. There's something in the light this afternoon. It's gold. Almost beautiful, like late summer just before sunset. But it's cold. Sharp cold. Cuts into the skin if you stand in it too long. And the shadows are wrong. They don't follow you anymore. They lead. They stretch ahead like they're pulling you towards something. I saw Lana standing in the light again, just past the back room, where the old vending machine used to be. She wasn't blinking, just smiling. Her hands at her sides, palms out. I called her name. She didn't answer. When I touched her shoulder, she flinched like she'd just woken up from a long, warm dream. I asked her what she was doing. She said, "Listening." I asked, "To what?" She said, "The moon." But there's no signal from up there. Nothing anyone can hear. Not unless it's not just a rock. Unless it never was. Maybe the old stories were right. Maybe the moon isn't a thing. Maybe it's a mind, an eye, a mouth, a memory buried above us. And maybe it's hungry. I've noticed something else. The radio's starting to echo. Not like feedback, not delay. It's repeating things I haven't said yet. I'll go to speak, and then I'll hear the words a second before they leave my mouth. Like the station's picking them up before I even think them. Or like something else already said it. Somewhere. I've torn down the antenna 3 times, rewired it from scratch. Still happens. Maybe I'm the echo. I'm scared I'm not alone in here anymore. Not because I hear footsteps or voices, but because the air feels crowded, thick. Like there are more eyes than mine watching, more breath than mine fogging the glass. I've started to forget things, not big things, little things. The word for fork, the name of my 2nd grade teacher, the color of my mother's eyes. When I try to recall them, I get static, like a tape skipping, like something's wiping the reel as I rewind. It's not sleep deprivation, it's theft. Something is taking pieces of me, 1 syllable at a time. I don't know how long I've been broadcasting. A few days, a week, a month. The nights blur together. The sun doesn't rise the same way twice anymore. It just sort of bleeds through the sky when it feels like it. There are more trees than there used to be. I know how that sounds, but it's true. I counted. From the west window, you used to be able to see the water tower over the ridge. Now it's blocked. Dense forest, packed tight and climbing. The roots crack through asphalt, curl around fences. And they're moving closer. Not fast, but steady, like a tide. I've seen animals too, or things that used to be animals. A deer walked past the window earlier. Its legs were wrong, bent backwards, and its antlers weren't antlers anymore. They split like branches, twitching at the tips like fingers. It didn't look at me, but it knew I was there. They all do. Whatever's behind this, it's not a single thing. It's a pattern. A slow, quiet bending of the rules. It doesn't roar. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It waits, and it rewrites. The moon isn't causing it. The moon is just the trigger, the signal. The real infection is the forgetting. Forgetting how to be human. Forgetting how to speak. Forgetting how to resist the pull. I saw a man this morning, standing by the edge of the tree line, or something shaped like a man. Too tall, too thin, arms past the knees, head cocked sideways like a question. He didn't move when I shouted, didn't blink, just opened his mouth. Nothing came out, but I heard the howl anyway, inside my chest, like my bones were tuning forks. I dropped to the floor and covered my ears. Lana didn't flinch. She just smiled. I've started carving words into the wall, just to remember them. Bread, wind, water, window, sister, laughter, name. Name. Mine is Jack Sullivan. That's what I keep telling myself. That's what I keep saying into the mic. Because the moment I forget that, it wins. The thing in the light, the thing in the trees, the voice in the signal. The wolf isn't coming. The wolf is already here. And it's wearing everything we used to be like a skin. If you're hearing this, if your signal is still strong, repeat your name. Say it out loud. Say the names of the people you love. Don't let them vanish from your mouth. Don't let the new words take root. Because once they do, they bloom fast. And they bloom hungry. This is Jack Sullivan. Still transmitting, still holding on, even if the voice behind mine is getting louder. Even if the shadows start to recognize me. Even if the light starts to speak my name. It's 7:13 p.m. The generator ran dry an hour ago. Everything else is running on battery now. I don't know how long that'll hold. I've rewired the board twice today, stripped old copper from the filing cabinet hinges, just to keep a signal moving through the wall. It's working, I think. The red light's still on. I still hear my own voice bouncing back from the dead air. But it's quieter now. Not the room. My voice. It feels thin, like the air around it is eating the sound. I keep checking the windows. Not because I think something's outside, because I'm not sure what's not outside anymore. The world's changing so fast I can't even hold on to what it used to look like. The grass is gone, replaced by this moss, thick, dark, and soft like wet fur. It climbs the walls of every building now, covers the sidewalks. It's warm to the touch, even when the wind bites. It pulses sometimes, not visibly, but I feel it, like it's breathing. There's a new tree in the yard. It wasn't there this morning. It's tall, black, bark like cracked glass, and it leans toward the station. Not a shadow nearby. The moon's overhead now, no longer moving, just hovering in place, filling the world with that awful silver weight. The light bends around the tree, like it knows, like it wants to be near it. And the tree, it hums, low, steady, like a tuning fork buried deep in the ground. It's the same pitch as the one I hear in my bones. I think it's growing in the shape of a person. I think I know who. I've been writing down everything, even the things that don't make sense, especially the things that don't make sense, because that's what's slipping first. Sense, logic, cause and effect. Earlier, I blinked, and I was holding a photograph I've never seen before. It's of me, standing on the roof of the station, arms raised like I'm welcoming something. There are others around me, faces I can't recognize, but they're smiling, all of them, smiling toward the same thing above us, something huge, something made of shadow and teeth and moons with eyes. I don't remember being on that roof, but the picture's warm, like I just took it. Lana hasn't spoken in hours. She doesn't even blink now. She hums, a single note, over and over. I tried to shake her awake. Her skin is cold, but her breath still fogs the glass. Her fingers twitch in a pattern, like she's writing something I can't read. I want to help her, but I don't think she's in there anymore. I think she left something behind, and now it's learning how to wear her voice. Sometimes I swear I hear her singing through the mic, even when she's not near it. That same note, carried like smoke through the wires. There's something else, something I haven't said yet. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't believe it. Until now. I'm changing. Not just the wound on my arm. That's closed. The black veins are gone. But not because they healed. Because they retracted. Like something beneath the skin pulled them back in. Waiting. My voice has been wrong all day. Just slightly. Like it's speaking from behind glass. And when I look at my reflection in the dark panel of the switchboard, It watches me blink, but it doesn't copy. I used to be afraid of dying out here. Now I'm afraid of surviving. Because if I live long enough, something's going to finish what it started. Not kill me. Change me. Rewrite me. Make me forget. And then I'll still be here. Still broadcasting. Still saying things. But it won't be me. It'll be a shape made of my voice. And you'll hear it. And you'll think, Jack made it. But I won't have. I'll just be the door. And once my voice opens it, whatever's on the other side steps through. Please, if you're listening, don't trust my voice. Not later, not tomorrow. Not if it starts to sound too calm. Not if it starts to tell you what the moon feels like on your skin. Not if it offers comfort. Not if it says your name too perfectly. Because the longer I talk, the more I feel something curling inside the words. Like I'm being used. Like I'm being practiced. There was a broadcast earlier. I caught it just before the batteries dropped. Not mine. Somewhere north. Maybe Canada. Maybe further. It was short. Frantic. A woman screaming into static. She said, "They're using the old signals. Not radio. Memory. They're waking things up that lived in language. Things that were words before we were people." And then it went dead. I don't know what that means. Not completely. But it sounds true. It feels true. Sometimes I hear myself say things I don't remember learning. Words in no language I've studied. But they feel heavy. Real. Like they were asleep in my chest, waiting to be spoken. I'll be back after dark, if the batteries hold. If I still remember how to speak. If my voice still belongs to me. Until then, stay away from mirrors. Don't write your name down. Don't listen to the trees. This is Jack Sullivan. Or at least, I think so. It's 11:04 p.m. I'm still here. Still Jack. I have to keep saying it. Out loud. Into the mic. Into the walls. Because otherwise it slips. I feel it sliding sometimes. Like a coat I didn't mean to take off. The world outside doesn't move the same way anymore. Nothing tracks. The sun rises in the wrong part of the sky. The moon never leaves. The clouds pass under it instead of in front. Like they're afraid to block it. Everything's rearranged itself. I opened the front door about 2 hours ago, just to look, not to step out. The road is gone. Where the pavement used to be, there's now a kind of glistening black moss, thick and spongy. I threw a brick at it. It didn't bounce. It sank. And then it vanished. No splash. No hole. Gone. The trees have curved inward around the station now. All of them. Bent like ribs over a heart. I think they're trying to seal this place in. Or maybe protect it. Or maybe trap it. Sometimes, I can't tell if the difference matters anymore. I haven't seen Lana since midday. She's not in the hallway. Not in the server room. I've checked every corner of this station, twice. No sign of her. But her coat is still hanging on the hook by the door. Still dry. Still warm. And I hear humming from the vents. Software gentle. The kind of lullaby you hum to a child you're about to forget. It sounds like her, but it might not be. I caught my own voice coming through the radio earlier. Not a recording, not playback. It said something I never said. It said, "The shape of you is ready. Now you must soften." I shut off the dial. But it didn't stop. It kept playing. I've started writing words on the floor, old words, simple ones. Door, sky, bread, rain, laugh, name, my name, over and over, because I've started forgetting what they feel like when I say them. They taste different in my mouth now, hollow, like echoes of something I never owned to begin with. I've started dreaming about things with too many legs, faces without mouths, people with smiles carved all the way back to their ears, and they're always watching me, not with malice, with hunger. They look like people who want to remember what they were before they changed, but can't. And they think I can help. They whisper to me, ask me to say things, old words, words with roots that go deeper than English, deeper than Latin, deeper than human. I woke up with blood in my throat, not from a cough, from speaking in my sleep. Something's wrong with the moon. I mean, it's always been wrong, but tonight it's worse. It has depth now, not just a surface. I can see motion in it, like something behind it is trying to come through. And there are more of them now, smaller moons, new ones, orbiting the big one like flies circling meat. I've been thinking about the word werewolf, how it used to scare me as a kid. Hairy beasts under a full moon, silver bullets, growls in the dark. What we have now, it's not that. It's not a curse. It's an invitation, a soft unraveling. You don't grow claws, you don't howl, you just forget. Little by little, you forget how to use a fork. You forget your sister's name. You forget why you ever needed a mirror. Then one day, you look outside and see something standing in the moonlight. Something tall and quiet and familiar. And you feel calm, not afraid. Because it's wearing your shape now, and it's better at it than you ever were. I haven't eaten in 2 days, haven't felt hungry, but I can still taste something sweet on the back of my tongue, like sugar and rot, like the smell of warm milk left out in the sun. The words are still coming. Faster now, not mine, but through me. They say things like, your bones are a language. Let us speak. We were in the world before time knew how to count. You are not prey. You are a map. I don't understand what they mean, but my mouth says them anyway. If you're still listening, if this signal still reaches you, please write something down. Anything. Your name, a memory, your favorite color, the song that made you cry when you were 13. Write it in ink, in pencil, in blood. Keep it with you, because the forgetting is real. It's not sickness, it's design. The moon isn't watching. It's recording, it's writing you out. I looked in the mirror tonight, not the broken one. The reflection in the window glass. I smiled, but I didn't mean to. I blinked, but the reflection didn't. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold this shape, how much longer I can trust this voice. But until then, until the signal dies, or my name stops feeling like mine, I'll keep broadcasting. Because the sound of a human voice might be the last true thing left in this world. This is Jack Sullivan. This is Jack Sullivan. This is Jack Sullivan. It's 2:33 a.m. The air's so still it hurts. Not quiet, not silent. Still, like the molecules themselves have stopped moving. Like breath has gone missing from the world. I set a glass of water on the console an hour ago. The surface hasn't rippled once. Not from footsteps. Not from vibration. Not even from me breathing next to it. I think the world is holding its breath. I think it's waiting. But for what? There's a sound just outside the walls. Not footsteps. Not claws. Not any one thing. It's like the entire forest is leaning in. The branches creak, not from wind, but from attention. I whispered once, just to test it, and every pine needle outside the window shivered. Lana hasn't come back, but the humming hasn't stopped. It's in the pipes now. The radio antenna vibrates when the pitch rises. It matches my pulse sometimes. Other times it skips ahead, like it's setting a rhythm for me to follow. I write less now, not because I don't want to, but because the words won't stay. I carve them into the floorboards, and they vanish by morning. Not faded, not washed, gone. Even the scratch marks disappear. I carved my name into the wall last night, 6-inch letters, deep. It's not there anymore. But something else is. Another word. Curved. Not in English. Not in any script I recognize. But I know it's mine. I can feel it in my teeth when I say it. Like biting foil. Like cold lightning. I think it's the name I'm becoming. But I won't speak it here. Because I still remember Jack. I still remember my father's hands, calloused from building fences. My mother's perfume when she kissed my forehead before school. The way my brother sang to himself when he thought no one was listening. I hold those in my chest like fire, and I will not trade them. No matter what this thing offers, no matter how sweet it smells when it crawls under my skin. The moon's closer tonight. I know. I've said that before. But it is. It takes up nearly a third of the sky now. Big enough that I can see craters I never noticed before. Patterns in the rock that almost form a face. Not a human one. Something else. Eyes too wide. Smile too thin. I think it's showing itself. I think it wants to be known, not feared, welcomed. The radio's acting up again. Static comes through even when I'm not transmitting. But if I slow it down, just a little, I can hear a voice underneath. Not words, just tone, just texture, like something breathing through the wires. I played a recording of it backwards earlier, and it said my name. Not just Jack, my full name. Middle name, too. No one knows that. No one alive. The tree outside has bloomed. I didn't know it could do that. Didn't know trees like that existed. But the branches are dripping now. Not sap. Not petals. Teeth. Hundreds of small, perfect human teeth. They hang like fruit. Clatter against each other when the wind moves them. I think they're baby teeth. I think they belong to children who forgot their names first. I didn't sleep. Again. I don't think I can anymore. Not because I'm scared, but because the dreams have started staying after I wake up. I'll see a figure in the dream, and then see it outside the station. I'll hear a sound while dreaming, and then it's still there, looping, pulsing, calling. When I sit up, I think the world inside me and the world outside me are syncing, not aligning, merging. The boundaries are soft now. Lana said something before she vanished. Just one sentence. I didn't mention it before. She said, We were never human. We just pretended longer than the others. And then she walked into the light. Didn't scream. Didn't run. She smiled, and the light took her gently. That's what scares me most. Not the violence, not the terror. The calm, the peace on their faces. They look like they've finally remembered who they were always meant to be. And it's not us. It's not Jack. It's not Lana. It's something older, wilder, wordless. Something with too many legs, too many names. I'm going to keep broadcasting. Until the batteries give. Until the wires snap. Until the light makes me forget. Because maybe somewhere out there, someone still knows how to say, "I love you," without growing fangs. Maybe somewhere there's still a kid clutching a flashlight under a blanket, listening to the hiss of a voice that hasn't changed yet. And maybe that voice can remind them what it meant to be warm, to be small, to be alive and afraid, and themselves. This is Jack Sullivan, or the voice that still remembers him. And I'm not gone. Not yet. It's 5:56 a.m. The signal's weaker today. I can feel it thinning. Not dying. Just stretching. Like old thread pulled too tight across something sharp. I had to solder the panel with melted coins. The backup fuses blew around 3 a.m. I heard them go. 3 pops, clean and fast, like bones breaking in the next room. Then the lights flickered, and I swear, just for a second, I saw someone standing behind the transmitter. But no one was there. The air's different now. It's warmer, but wrong. Like the heat doesn't come from the sun anymore. Like it's leaking out of the soil. I stepped outside briefly, just barefoot, just to test. The ground pulsed under my feet. 3 beats, then stillness. 3 beats, then stillness. Like a heartbeat. Not mine, not Earth's. Something else. The moss that was black yesterday is red today. Bright, vibrant, alive. It coats everything now. The station walls, the mailbox, the fence posts. I tried to scrape it off with the edge of a shovel. It bled. Thick, yellowish fluid. Smelled like cinnamon and rot. It pulsed, too. Like it didn't want to be touched. The sky never really went dark last night. The stars didn't come out. The moon didn't leave. But the color shifted. More pink than silver. Like skin stretched too thin over something breathing. There are whispers now. Not in the walls. In the light. When it hits just right, through the edge of the curtain, or cracks in the boards, I hear them. Software almost kind. Come outside. We missed you. You remember us. I don't. I don't remember them. But there's a part of me, a piece just behind my ribs, that aches like I should. Like it used to belong to something before it belonged to me. And that part of me wants to answer. Wants to step into the glow. Wants to put down the mic. But I haven't. Not yet. Because this, the signal, the words, the sound of something human humming through the wires, is the only thing left that hasn't changed. Not completely. Not yet. I looked at my hands this morning. They're wrong. Longer than I remember. The fingers too straight. The nails too smooth. When I press my palms together, there's no warmth between them. It's like touching someone else. I wrote my name again. Jack Sullivan. Black ink on white paper. Then I blinked, and the paper was blank. and I couldn't remember which letters went where. It took me 5 tries to get it right again. And even now, it doesn't look right. Like I'm spelling someone else's name. Like I'm borrowing a face I haven't earned. The reflections are worse. Not just in mirrors now. In glass. In puddles. In the curve of a spoon. They look like me, but they move wrong. A split second too slow. Or too fast. Sometimes they mouth words I haven't spoken yet. Sometimes they mouth things I won't. Lana is still gone, but the hallway smells like her. That soft, wood smoke and cedar scent from her coat. The one she used to wrap around herself when the cold set in. But the coat is gone, and the scent doesn't fade. Like she never left. Or never was. I can't tell anymore. I keep seeing people I know outside. Neighbors, friends, family, faces I haven't seen in years. But they're all wrong. Smiling too wide, standing too still, their eyes too full of that awful light. They wave. They always wave. And sometimes, I want to wave back. There's a phrase that keeps coming back to me. Not mine. Not from a memory. Just a whisper between the pulses. You were never alone. You were only unfinished. That's what they're offering, I think. Not death. Not destruction. Completion. They want to finish what we started. They want to fill the parts of us that feel empty when we lie awake at night. They want to name the things we can't. And all we have to do is forget. Forget who we were. Forget why we built walls. Forget why we needed names and mirrors and voices and silence. Forget our own outline. But I'm not ready, even as my body forgets how to belong to itself. Even as my tongue trips over words I've said my whole life. Even as the lights bend around my shape like they're deciding whether I still cast a shadow. I remember. I remember the way my brother laughed when I fell in the creek. I remember the way my mother ran her fingers through my hair when I had nightmares. I remember the smell of gas stations on long drives. I remember the sound of gravel under boots. I remember my name. I remember, and I won't trade that for peace. Not even if the thing inside the moon sings me lullabies. Not even if my own reflection begs me to let go. I will not be finished. This is Jack Sullivan. This is still my voice. And if you're listening, if you can still feel your name in your mouth like a heartbeat, say it. Say it now. Say it louder than the light. It's 10:12 a.m. The world feels too soft today, like it's made of fabric. Everything has a give to it. Floors, walls, my own skin. I leaned against the doorframe earlier and felt it breathe. Not creak. Breathe. I stayed there for a long time, listening, feeling it press back. I didn't move until it sighed. The sun never rose properly, just bled in like light leaking through a wound. There's no color anymore, just tones, just that pale orange bruise across the clouds. The moon didn't leave either. It hovered, dull and swollen, like a blister on the sky's skin. I watched a crow land on the antenna this morning. First bird I've seen in days. It didn't caw, it didn't move, it just sat there. And then it turned its head all the way around. One slow rotation. No pause, just a clean, full circle. Then it looked straight at me and opened its beak. A voice came out. Not a bird's voice. My voice. It repeated what I said last night. Word for word. The whole sign-off. The timing, the pitch, the tremble. Then it took off and left no shadow. That's when I knew. Something's mimicking now. Not just changing us, copying, echoing, perfectly. And once it's better at being us than we are, what do we become? I found another photo under the transmitter, tucked into the wiring. It wasn't there before. It shows the radio station, but covered in roots, twisted and grown through the walls like veins. The sky in the picture is red, full of teeth, and standing at the door is a figure. Me, wearing antlers. I'm smiling in the photo, but I don't remember that moment. And I don't smile like that. Not anymore. Something else. I haven't heard my heartbeat today. Not once. Usually, in the quiet moments, when I'm still, when I'm thinking, I can feel it. That little steady pulse in the throat or behind the ears. A reminder that you're alive. But now, nothing. Not even when I press my hand to my chest. It's not fear. I'm not panicking. That's what's strange. It feels expected. Like the absence of a heartbeat is the beginning of something else. Like I'm being tuned to a different rhythm. There's a language forming in the cracks of the ceiling. I know how that sounds. But I swear, when the plaster shifts, when the wood swells from the heat, the shapes that form between them are letters, glyphs, symbols that pulse with light and then fade. I don't know what they mean, but I can feel what they mean. Not in my head, in my hands, in the way my fingers move afterward, like they're remembering shapes from before fingers existed. I think the station is being rewritten, and I'm the pen. I tried speaking Latin into the mic this morning, just to test something. I learned it in school, forgot most of it. But I remembered enough. The air changed, the lights buzzed louder, and from the hallway, something answered, not in Latin, but in agreement. Like it knew the root beneath the word, like it had been waiting for the sound. I haven't dared try again. The ground outside has split open in places, small cracks, a few feet wide. They pulse with light, soft white and pink, like candle glow behind skin. I don't go near them. They hum, and when you lean close, they whisper back your own thoughts. Slightly wrong, like a friend telling a story you know, but replacing the ending with something you wished happened. They make you doubt. They make you curious. And curiosity is the first surrender. I've started to think I'm not broadcasting anymore. Not in the way I used to. I speak. The red light's on. The system says I'm live. But I don't know if the signal's leaving the building, or if it's just circling the room, over and over, feeding itself, looping, becoming stronger with each pass. Like it's not for others anymore. Like it's becoming something. Someone. I keep this mic open because it's the only thing that still responds to me without smiling. The glass doesn't. The reflection doesn't. The lights don't. Even the chair creaks when I speak, like it's breathing along with me. But the mic stays cold, steady, unchanging. That's why I trust it, and maybe why I fear it. Because one day soon, it might say my name before I do, and then I'll know that the echo has caught up, that it doesn't need me anymore, and that whatever's been listening all along is ready to speak back. This is Jack Sullivan. This is still Jack. If you're hearing me, if your ears still belong to you, Write this down. You are not the shadow you cast. You are not the voice they mimic. You are not the name they remember. You are the silence before the word, the heartbeat before the howl, and you can still walk away. Just don't look up. It's 9:44 p.m., or what's left of night. The sky doesn't switch anymore. It just blurs. A slow churn of mauve and bone-white clouds that don't drift. They coil. They twitch like muscle. I watched one ripple earlier, like a spasm through flesh. I think the sky is waking up. And the moon. It has cracks now. Deep ones, webbed across its face like old scars glowing from within. Sometimes I see shapes in them, not imagination, forms, crawling across the light, long-limbed, moving with intention. They aren't hiding anymore. They're watching. And maybe they always were. I haven't left the station in 3 days. The moss at the base of the door pulses if I get close. The walls are damp, breathing. Something slick moves between the insulation layers now. Sounds like worms in paper, but slower, bigger. It smells like old copper and honey, like birth, or rebirth. I found a note this morning, folded neatly in my boot. It said, "Jack, you don't have to fight this. You were one of us before the forgetting. You spoke our names when you were still bone. Come home. We left the door open. Love, yourself." I don't remember writing it, but the handwriting's mine. Even the pressure in the strokes, same downward curve on the J's. Same way I cross my T's like I'm trying to stab the paper. That's the part that scares me. Not that someone left me a message. That I believe it. Because some part of me remembers what it's saying. And that part is getting louder. I don't know if I've eaten. I don't feel hunger. I don't feel much of anything, except vibration. The whole station hums now, a constant low frequency, like a deep cello string under the floorboards. I matched it earlier, hummed along with it without thinking. It felt like prayer. I can't see my reflection anymore, not because the glass is gone, but because it refuses to hold me. I look, and there's nothing. Not blank, just absence. As if the light moves through me, as if I'm no longer dense enough to be seen. Maybe that's the final phase. Not death, not possession. Just transparency. The light outside is talking now, not in words, in sensation. When it hits your skin, it tells you things, stories, memories that aren't yours, futures that might be. It touches you and knows you. I stood in it earlier, only for a moment. And in that moment, I remembered the birth of stars, not metaphorically, not poetically. I was there, inside the fire, watching hydrogen split, feeling the noise of gravity shaping sound, and I wept. Not because it was painful, but because it was home. Then I stepped back inside, and I was Jack again, just long enough to speak, just long enough to hurt, because the longer I stay human, the more it aches, like wearing clothes made of teeth, like breathing with lungs that want to sing a different language. I think I'm slipping, and I think I want to. But I promised you, whoever's listening, whoever's still listening, that I'd stay until the last word. And that promise is all I have left. That's mine. So, here it is. The truth. Whatever this thing is, this light, this infection, this blooming voice that echoes under the soil, It's not here to kill us. It's here to finish us. We are the cocoon. It is the wings. And the only thing that stops the transformation is memory. Not facts, not dates, not maps or numbers, but real memory. The kind that makes your chest tighten when you hear a certain chord. The kind that makes you cry when a smell drags you back to a face you haven't seen in years. That's why I keep talking. Not because I think I'll be rescued, but because I know someone, somewhere, remembers how to feel. And if I can keep that alive in just one person, if I can hold open the door just long enough for you to say no, then maybe this thing doesn't win. Maybe it just waits a little longer. So here it is. The sound of a man whose bones are no longer sure of their shape, whose thoughts don't come in straight lines anymore, whose name echoes back wrong when spoken aloud, but whose voice still bleeds the truth. My name is Jack Sullivan. I once loved a girl who smelled like cinnamon. I once crashed a bike on a gravel road and thought the world would end from the pain. I once held my father's hand while he died, and I still remember all of it. Even now, even with the light in my teeth, even with the hum under my skin, even with the moon calling me by the name I haven't said since before I was born, I remember, and so do you. Say it with me, out loud. I remember. Say it until the shadows hiss. Say it until the trees bend backward. Say it until your voice cuts a hole in whatever's listening. This is Jack Sullivan. Still transmitting. Still human. Still fighting. Say it. Say it now. It's 1:11 p.m. I woke up with soil in my mouth. Not dirt, not mud. Soil. Rich, black, sweet-smelling earth. The kind you'd use for planting tomatoes in the spring. It was packed behind my molars, under my tongue, like I'd been chewing it in my sleep. I spat it onto the floor and cried for almost an hour, not because it hurt, but because it felt right. I don't know when I laid down, or how long I was gone, but the station's changed again. The light doesn't come through the windows the same way. It comes from them now. It pulses, once every 5 seconds, a breath. The walls are covered in vines, pale green, almost translucent. They curl around the shelves, the mic stand, the edge of my cot. But they don't touch the transmitter. Not yet. I think it scares them. Or maybe they're waiting for it to go silent, like everything else. The photographs are changing again. There's a whole stack of them on the desk now. Hundreds. None of them were here yesterday, or the day before. I don't remember placing them, but they're mine. Or they were. Me as a child. Me as a teen. Me laughing with faces I no longer recognize. But every time I flip through, the images get less clear, like they're being rubbed out. In the last few photos, I'm smiling with no mouth, just a smooth curve of skin. Everyone around me is turning to face the moon, their eyes stretched wide, their bones hollowed. One of the photos shows me asleep, right here, in this chair, last night. But no one was here to take it. There are teeth under the floorboards. I heard them clacking when I walked, pulled up one of the boards and found a row of molars growing like mushrooms. They're warm. They hum when I speak. I don't think they want to hurt me. I think they're trying to join me. I still haven't said the name. The one I saw in the glyphs. The one that lives behind my teeth. It waits, right on the tip of my tongue, like a splinter of light. But if I say it, if I become it, there won't be a voice left to carry this signal, and I still have things to say, still have people to remember, still have a name I don't want to lose. The antenna is bent, twisted like a spine cracked at the base, but the signal's stronger now, not through the usual channels, through everything. I can feel it when I speak, like the words go further than they should, through wires, through water, through bone. I think the world itself is transmitting now, and I'm just the mouth it's borrowing. That thought used to terrify me. Now it comforts me in a way I can't explain. There's something else. The howl. It's back. Not just one this time. Hundreds. Layered, harmonized, rising in waves from the tree line just before dawn. It didn't sound angry. It sounded like worship. And when it ended, the moss outside glowed, and the sky blinked. And for 10 full minutes, I couldn't remember my brother's name. I got it back, eventually. But something else was gone in its place. I don't know what yet, but I feel the hole where it used to be, like a socket where a tooth once was. The forest has come closer. I mean that literally. The trees are pressed right up against the station now, trunks fused into the walls, branches curling under the eaves. I opened the back closet to check on the emergency fuses and found a root growing through the concrete. It had a pulse. It said my name, not out loud, just inside, like I'd always belonged to it, like I was grown from the same soil. I haven't fought it. Not in a while. I still speak, still remember, still draw names into the fog on the glass when the temperature drops. But I don't resist the light anymore. I let it touch me, because it missed me, because I missed it too. The world is not ending. It's returning. To something before, to a pattern we abandoned when we learned to name ourselves separate from the wind, the river, the sky. We used to be the song. Now we just listen to it from behind walls. But the walls are soft now, and the song is so loud. This is still Jack Sullivan. And I want you to know something before I forget how to mean it. You were real. You mattered. Even if no one remembers your name, even if your photo fades, even if the thing wearing your skin never speaks the way you did, you mattered. And I remember you. I remember the way your hands shook when you held the flashlight. I remember the names you whispered to yourself, just to make sure they didn't vanish. I remember the last thing you said to someone who never said it back. I remember all of it. And I carry it into whatever comes next. I don't know how much longer I'll be here. The voice behind mine is stronger now. It echoes before I speak. It hums under every word. It's patient, and it's hungry. But it's also kind. That's what's so dangerous. It doesn't want to kill me. It wants to hold me, to wear me, to soften me. But I will not soften. Not yet. I will speak until my voice is the last sharp thing in the air. Until the trees bend away from the sound. Until the moon closes its eyes. This is Jack. Still Jack. It's 3:59 a.m. I'm still breathing, I think. The glass on the windows has fogged over, but not from cold. It's from the inside, like the station itself is exhaling. The air tastes like ash and jasmine, sweet and burnt, like the end of something beautiful. Everything outside is still glowing. That soft, pale shimmer, like moonlight filtered through milk. The trees are pulsing now. Every branch, every vine. They contract once every few minutes like lungs, or like something dreaming. There are no more sounds from the animals, no birds, no insects, no howls. Just the quiet, alive and alert, like it's watching me through the boards, waiting for my voice to crack. I almost didn't speak tonight. Not because I couldn't, because I wasn't sure I needed to. There was a moment earlier, around midnight, where I felt completely still. No fear, no hunger, no pain. I just sat here with my hands in my lap, my eyes closed, listening to the light whisper inside my veins. And it whispered comfort. Told me I could stop. Told me everything had already been said. That no one was listening anymore. That I was the last breath in a room that had already emptied. But I opened my mouth anyway. Because if there's even one of you out there, just one, sitting in the dark, with your heart pounding and your thoughts running like prey, you need to know you're not alone. You need to hear a voice. Even if it's mine. Even if it's not all mine anymore. The trees have grown over the front steps. I can't see the road. The radio tower is gone, swallowed by vines or the sky or both. I reached out the window earlier to feel the air, and something licked my palm. I pulled back, and my skin was smooth where it touched me. Too smooth. Like it had been rewritten. I keep scratching at it, trying to bring back the texture, the scars, the fingerprints. But it doesn't change. Not anymore. The glyphs on the ceiling are gone. In their place are cracks shaped like constellations. I don't recognize them, but they move when I blink, rearranging, repeating, like instructions I was supposed to know all along. There's a noise in the transmitter now. Even when I'm not broadcasting, it clicks softly. Once for yes, twice for no. I've started asking it questions. I asked if I was still me. It didn't answer. I asked if Lana was still out there. One click. I asked if she remembered me. 2 clicks. And I sat in the dark for a long time after that. I don't cry much anymore. Not because I don't want to. Because I think that part of me has already been shed. Like milk teeth. Like fur. Like a name. I've started hearing voices in the pauses between sentences. They don't say much, just fragments. You were always soil. We are your sky. Fold inward. Unmouth the name. I repeat them to myself sometimes, not because I want to, because they feel warm in my throat, like sunlight, like surrender. But then I say my name, loud, sharp. I carve it into the mic stand. I tap it against the glass. I draw it with blood on the fogged window. And for a moment, they go quiet. That's all I need. One moment. One breath where the voice is still mine. The dreams are getting longer. I used to close my eyes and see shapes. Teeth. Moons. Antlers. Now I see rooms. Endless rooms full of people sitting in chairs. Not moving. Just waiting. All facing the same direction. Toward a pulsing light in the ceiling. They open their mouths in perfect unison. And they hum the same note. Low. Long. Software like morning or arrival. I think they're waiting for me. Or maybe I'm already there. Maybe this room is the dream now. Maybe the signal is a rope I tied around my chest before I drifted too far out. But I'm still holding it, still anchored, still here. If you're listening, if the hum hasn't hollowed you out yet, if you still flinch when you hear your name said wrong, I need you to do something for me. Write down a memory, something real, something warm, something that hurts a little. Say it out loud. Speak it into the cracks, because the silence is filling fast. And when it closes, the only thing that might keep you is the shape of something lost. This is Jack Sullivan, or the echo of him, still naming the darkness, still holding the mic like a matchstick in a flooded room, still trying. It's 6:03 a.m. If you're still hearing me, I want to start with something simple. My name is Jack Sullivan. I had a dog when I was 7. Her name was Della, black and white mutt, scared of thunder. She used to sleep under the porch until she got too big to fit. After that, she slept right beside my bed, nose tucked under the mattress. She died the year my brother left for college. We buried her under the hickory tree near the east fence. That was real. I say that now because I'm not sure how much else is. This station, this room, this voice, this chair, it's all soft around the edges now. Like the rules that held them up are tired. Like they're folding into something more flexible, something easier to forget. I saw myself in the reflection of the mic casing. Not a full face, just pieces. The skin under my jaw is stretched. There's something moving underneath it. Something slow, rhythmic, like a second pulse. When I close my eyes, I hear footsteps. But when I open them, there are none. I don't know if that's better or worse. The walls are growing. Literally. They breathe. The paneling cracks and reforms. The drywall stretches. At one point last night, I touched a seam and it recoiled like muscle. I think the station is alive now, and I think it's listening to me. Not because it wants to help, because it's learning. I can't tell where the forest ends anymore. The windows are almost completely covered in vines. The light they let in is green, not the green of spring or leaves or grass. The green of deep water. The kind of green you see when you're sinking. I've stopped eating. Not by choice. Food doesn't taste right. Everything tastes like it's already been digested by something older. Something patient. And I'm not hungry. Haven't been. The voice that speaks with me now, beneath mine, has started finishing my sentences. Not out loud, not into the mic, but in my mind. I'll be halfway through a word and it'll push the rest through for me. Sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes I let it. The air smells like salt, like ocean wind. I haven't been near the coast in years. But the station smells like tide now, and I keep hearing gulls in the vents. I don't know if this is still Earth, or if I've already crossed into something else. Maybe I'm inside the signal now. Maybe the broadcast never went out. Maybe it went in. There was a sound last night, low, thunderous, long. Not from the sky, from below. It shook the floor, knocked over one of the old reel racks. The noise rang in my chest, like someone whispering into my bones. I could feel my ribs shift, like they were remembering a shape older than me. The dreams are worse, not louder, not more violent, quieter, gentler, more convincing. In the dream, I'm not broadcasting. I'm sitting in a circle with others, faces I almost know. They hum when I speak. Their mouths open wide, but no sound comes out. And behind them, the trees bloom with eyes, not watching, just open, just there, like stars that forgot to leave the sky. When I wake, the station smells like cedar and rain, and the dreams linger. For hours. Sometimes I forget I woke up at all. The moon's changed again. It's no longer round. It spirals now, a slow whirlpool of light above the clouds. It doesn't rise or set. It just is. I think it's watching us, not in judgment, not even in curiosity. Just waiting, like it knows we'll come to it eventually, like it's patient and infinite and already inside everything. I don't talk to Lana anymore. She doesn't answer. But her scent remains. Her boots still by the door. Her hum woven into the station's electricity. Maybe that's what we all become. A pattern in the static. A warmth behind the next signal. A voice waiting to be remembered. I've started to forget my name again. Had to write it 6 times today. Each time the letters looked unfamiliar, like artifacts, like fossils, like something I dug up and tried to wear. But I say it anyway, because it matters, because it still cuts through the fog, even if the edges are dull now, even if it doesn't feel like it belongs in my mouth anymore. This is Jack Sullivan, still Jack, still number. That's not right. I am Jack. I was Jack. I will be Jack until the last breath remembers me. If you're listening, say your name. Please. Say it while it still fits. Write down a memory that hurts. Sing a song you haven't sung since you were a child. Hold your teeth in your mouth and feel the weight of language. Because the silence is growing. It's beautiful. I won't lie. But it is not you. And you are still real. You are still burning. You are still whole. Even if the vines want your shape. Even if the moon whispers what you used to be. Even if the trees call you home. This is Jack Sullivan, still trying. Still loud. Still here. It's 12:08 p.m. I woke up to the station singing. Not music, not lyrics, just tone. A long humming vibration rising from the floorboards and dripping from the ceiling like steam. It filled the air without sound. I could feel it in my teeth, in the backs of my eyes, like pressure, like grief with no shape. The vines have reached the transmitter. They didn't touch it for so long. I thought maybe, somehow, they couldn't. But now they curl around the base. They don't pull. They hold, like fingers or roots wrapping a bone. The mic is still clear, but I can see small buds blooming from the copper casing, tiny white petals that open when I speak. The signal is feeding something. I don't know what. And I don't know if I care anymore. That's the truth, isn't it? I said I was fighting. I said I'd speak until the voice wasn't mine. But I didn't expect it to feel good. I didn't expect the forgetting to feel like warmth. Like stepping into a room where no one needs you to explain yourself. Where you can set down your name like a coat at the door and just rest. But I'm not resting. Not yet. I saw the sun for the first time in what feels like days. It rose behind the ridge, just above the tree line. But it wasn't our sun. It was smooth, pale, and it didn't shine. It watched, like the moon, only older, hungrier, more intimate. It stared at me through the glass, and I felt my chest split open. Not with pain, with recognition, like I knew it, like it knew me. The light that came through wasn't warm. It was wet. It clung to the walls, sank into the furniture. My boots left trails of light when I walked. I think I'm being marked, like chalk on a door frame, like something ticking off the days until it comes inside. There are symbols on the desk now, scratched into the wood where my elbows rest. They're soft at first, but deepen when I speak. I think the broadcast is writing them, carving them from sound. They don't scare me, but they should, because one of them is my face. Not the face I wear now, the one beneath it, the one I haven't seen yet, but already feel growing behind my eyes. I looked at my hands again. The fingers are too long. The nails curve backward now. My skin pulses when I whisper. It opens in tiny slits across my arms, just for a second, like gills. Then seals. No pain, no blood. Just change, gentle, constant, unstoppable. I used to fear death. Then I feared becoming something else. Now I think the real fear is this: how natural it feels. To slip, to let go, to dissolve into something softer than a name. I had a memory today. I don't know if it was mine. A boy standing in a field at dusk, listening to wolves in the hills. Not afraid, just listening. He closes his eyes, and the sound becomes music. Not howls, a choir. Thousands of voices folded into one. And the boy smiles. That smile is still in my chest, and it's not mine. But I can't give it back, because there's no one left to return it to. I don't remember Lana's face anymore, only her sound. The way she said my name in the early hours of the morning, when we thought this was all just some sickness, some nightmare that would pass. Her voice was real, and that's all I can carry now. I hum it to myself when the station starts to flicker, when the light through the cracks starts to form mouths, when the floor pulses like a heartbeat that isn't mine. I hum her voice to remind myself I was loved once, and maybe still am. Even if the thing that loves me now isn't human, even if I'm not. This is Jack Sullivan. Still Jack. Somewhere beneath the petals. Somewhere behind the eyes. Somewhere inside the breath. If you're listening, if your hands still leave fingerprints, if your shadow still follows instead of leads, repeat after me. I am not ready. Say it again. Say it louder. Say it until the trees lean back. Say it until the sun forgets your name. Say it because silence is a seduction, and we were not made for quiet. We were made for noise, for pain, for naming things even when the words are broken. I will keep naming, until the voice stops echoing, until the vines let go, until the sky runs out of mouths. This is Jack. Still Jack. It's 9:17 p.m. I watched the trees kneel today. All of them. Every trunk around the station, bowed forward at the exact same angle, like they were praying. No wind, no movement in the sky. Just a slow bending, graceful, impossible. And then stillness. And then The light came down. Not moonlight, not sunlight. It. A column of pale gold, wide as the water tower used to be, fell from nowhere into the center of the woods. It didn't blind. It softened. The vines turned toward it. The ground warmed, and the silence bloomed. I think that's what it's doing now. Not consuming. Not killing. Blooming. I stood at the window for a long time, watching, and in the glow I saw them. Figures. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Some I recognized. Some I didn't. All of them standing, arms open, mouths slightly parted, not speaking, just receiving. They didn't burn. They didn't scream. They just accepted. And the light folded over them like a second skin. And then it was gone. And so were they. I'm still here. And I don't know why. I thought I would have joined them by now. Thought I would have said the name. Let the hum pull me inward like it's pulled everyone else. But something anchors me. Maybe it's the mic. Maybe it's the weight of your attention. Maybe it's guilt. I've been holding this signal like a lifeline for days, weeks. I've lost track. I don't know if the battery is even real anymore. I don't know if the power comes from the generator or from me. I haven't eaten in 4 days. I haven't slept in 2. I don't feel tired. I feel diluted, thinned out, like ink in water. I speak and the sound travels less like noise, more like pollen, floating, settling, sinking into soil that no longer cares about roots. There's something on my back now. I can't see it, but I feel it. A weight. Software warm. Breathing. Not like a parasite. More like a limb. Like I grew it. Like it always meant to be there and only now remembered. It hums when I speak. The same note as the trees. The same note as Lana. Yes. She's here again. Or part of her is. She came to me in the mirror. Not her body, just her shape. Outlined in condensation, standing behind me, one hand on my shoulder. She smiled. Not with teeth, with light. She said nothing. She didn't have to. I knew. She forgave me. And then she was gone. I think that's what this is, in the end. Not vengeance, not hunger. Mercy. A final, gentle rewriting of everything we were too stubborn to let go of. The world isn't ending. It's forgetting the shape we forced it into, and remembering something softer, something kinder. I found a piece of paper on the floor this afternoon. Blank, except for one line, written in my handwriting. You were always meant to unfold. I folded it up, put it in my coat pocket. I've stopped scratching my name into things. It doesn't hold like it used to. The walls drink it in. The ink turns to pollen. The carvings to vines. But I still say it. Every hour, on the hour. Not for me, for you. So that if your voice is cracking, if your outline is blurring, if your thoughts are being sung to sleep by something that smells like spring rain and dying wood, you'll remember what a human name sounded like. You'll remember how to be edges. I saw my reflection in the speaker grill today. Bent, warped, gray, but still there. I waved. It didn't wave back. I smiled. It didn't. And I said, I forgive you. Because I know it's not trying to replace me. It's trying to return me to something I've never been. But not yet. Not tonight. Because the mic is still warm in my hand. Because the red light still listens. Because I still love the sound of my own voice, even when it doesn't echo right anymore. If you're hearing this, here's what I want you to do. Say your name. Say your name out loud. Then say the name of someone you lost. Then say the name of someone who forgave you. And then wait. Wait in that silence. Let it hurt. Let it stretch. Let it mean something. And when the trees knock gently at your window, tell them no. Not yet. Not tonight. This is Jack Sullivan. Still naming. Still refusing. Still wrong in all the right ways. It's 2:27 a.m. I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember waking up. I just remember the light. It was coming through the walls, not around them, through them. Every surface glowing from within, like the building had swallowed a second sunrise and couldn't hold it anymore. It didn't hurt, but it changed things. The walls don't breathe anymore. They listen. I say a word, and they pulse in rhythm. I say a name, and the vines shift toward the sound. I stay quiet, and the floor hums like it's trying to coax the voice back out of me. Everything wants the sound. Everything wants the memory. I think the broadcast isn't a warning anymore. It's bait, and I'm the hook, but I keep talking. Because silence is a deeper surrender. Because if I stop, I don't know what I'll become. Because if I stop, I don't know what you'll lose. So I speak. Even if it's not just me doing the speaking anymore. I found an old cassette today. No label. Just dust. I played it. My voice. But not me. It was telling a story I don't remember. A story about the first time I saw the ocean. About holding my father's hand and watching the tide take back everything it had given. About knowing, without being told, that nothing ever really goes away. Only underneath. Only inside. I don't remember that day. But I believe every word. Because it sounded happy. And there hasn't been much of that lately. The transmitter is blooming now. Open petals of copper and static, soft and warm. The mic smells like pine needles and candle wax. The air hums when I speak too long. And I have been speaking too long. I know that. But I can't stop. Because something in me still needs to be heard. Even if no one's left to listen. Even if I'm just echoing through a world that's already changed shape. I keep saying my name, not out of fear, out of ritual. It's the one anchor I have. The last shape I know, even if it fits worse each time. Even if it echoes back with a sound I don't recognize. Even if something else answers in harmony. There's no sky anymore. Just a dome of pale movement. Like clouds made of muscle. Like skin stretched thin over stars. Sometimes it opens. Just a little. Just enough to show what waits above. It's never the same. Sometimes it's a face. Sometimes it's an eye. Once it was a mouth. And I swear it whispered, "You were born in our forgetting." And I believed it. Because part of me has always felt borrowed. Like I was speaking someone else's words, living someone else's dream. But this voice, the one you're hearing, it's still mine. Still cracked and tired and warm. Still real. The vines have crept inside now, not crawling. Curious. They wrap the shelves, the mic stand, the empty chair beside me. I don't pull them off. They don't squeeze. They just rest. Like memory, like hands on your shoulders when you cry. There was a sound earlier, deep, slow, like a bell rung from the belly of the world. It knocked the dust from the ceiling, froze the signal, made my heart stop, just for a second. And when it passed, I knew something had ended, but I didn't know what. I still don't. There's a photo I found under the cot. New, warm, still damp. It's me. Not here. Not in the station. In a field of white grass, facing something tall and lightless. I'm smiling. My hands are open. My eyes are gold. That photo wasn't there yesterday, and no one took it. I haven't told you about the words in the water. There's a bucket in the corner I use to collect the condensation. It fills on its own now. Every morning, the water inside is smooth and still. And on the surface, words, new ones, every time, not carved, reflected. Today's word was merge. I drank it. I don't know why, but I'm still here, still speaking, still remembering the sound of my name, even as it fades from my mouth. This is Jack Sullivan, and I remember snow on my eyelashes, and the smell of fresh-cut lumber in the back of my father's truck, and the way Lana looked at me once when I said I was scared, and she didn't try to fix it. She just said, "Me too." If you're out there, if your voice is still yours, whisper your name into the dark. Not to resist, not to escape, just to mean it, even if it's the last thing you do. This is Jack. Still, for now. It's 3:06 a.m. The station walls are translucent now, not see-through, just thin. When the wind moves outside, if that's even wind anymore, I see shapes through the grain. Slow silhouettes, long arms, some crawling, some upright, all moving like they're listening. They don't come in. They don't knock. They just stand. Sometimes I think they're guarding me. Other times I think they're waiting for me to open the door. There's no more sky overhead. I stepped out briefly this evening, only for seconds, and there was nothing above. Not black, not stars, not cloud, just space, deep and pale, soft as fabric, like the world was flipped upside down and someone forgot to put the ceiling back on. When I walked, the ground pulsed with each step, like it knew where I was, like it remembered. I've stopped using lights in the studio, not because I'm scared of the dark, but because the light doesn't behave anymore. When it touches me, it leaves fingerprints, pale marks on the floor, handprints on the wall, long after I've stepped away, like it's trying to trace the shape of me, like it's mapping my outline before it's erased. I touched the microphone earlier and felt something hum back, not through the speakers, inside my teeth, like the metal remembered being part of me once, like everything's trying to fold back together. I don't know if I've spoken already today. Sometimes I forget what's live, what's memory, what's echo. I'll finish a sentence and realize I heard it hours ago, or maybe years, or maybe in someone else's mouth. The line between now and before is soft. Everything's soft. Even the static is warm. I miss sharpness. I miss edges. I miss feeling like my bones had corners. I looked at my hands this morning. One of them doesn't look right anymore. Not broken, just corrected. It bends better now, reaches further. When I hold it in front of the window, the light curls around it like it's greeting something familiar. And I let it. For a while. Because it felt good to be recognized. That's the part that's hardest to resist. Not fear, not pain, belonging. Whatever this is, whatever's blooming through the trees, through the signal, through me, it doesn't want worship. It wants familiarity. It wants us back. Not in pieces, not in names, but in shape, in sound, in rhythm. I hear voices in the radio now. Not when I'm broadcasting, when I stop. They leak in from the silence. They speak in plural. Never I, only we. They said this earlier. We are not here to hollow you. We are what you left behind in your reflection. And I cried, not because I believed it, because I wanted to. Because there's comfort in being called home, even if it's not a place you remember. Even if it's a mouth waiting to wear your voice. I found a coil of hair wrapped around the mic stand. Not mine, Lana's. I don't know how I know that, but I do. And I wrapped it around my wrist like a bracelet. It hums now when I speak, like she's listening, or like she never left. There's no calendar anymore, no clock, no sun to chase the numbers forward. Time is a shape now, a tide, a loop of breath between old and new. And I float in it, still calling myself Jack, even if that word doesn't open the same doors it used to, even if the station hums louder when I say nothing. Still, I say it, because someone has to. Because if we lose our names completely, we forget how to mean things, and I'm not ready to stop meaning. If you're hearing this, if the trees haven't grown through your windows yet, if your dreams still end in silence instead of song, say your name, write it down, then burn the paper. Let the smoke hold it in the air a little longer. Let the ashes carry it back to wherever it came from. Because the light is gentle, but it does not care. It will take what is unloved. It will finish what is unfinished. And it will make a shape so perfect you won't want to leave. Don't let it. Not yet. Not while I still speak. Not while the mic is still warm. This is Jack Sullivan. Still me. Still you. Still here. It's 4:58 a.m. I watched the vines right this morning. Not grow. Right. They curled across the wall behind the soundboard, tip by tip, sketching out something like letters, but too slow, too fluid to be handwriting. More like breathing in patterns, like lungs exhaling memories. I couldn't read them, but I knew what they meant. They were names, too many. Not all human, not all from here, but all remembered. Like the station had become some kind of archive, some memorial made out of root and signal and breath. And I'm the librarian, still here, still shelving the silence, still whispering catalog numbers into a sky that's already forgotten them. I haven't seen my reflection in days. There's no mirror left in the studio. It melted. Glass shouldn't melt at this temperature. But it did, softened like wax, dripped down the frame and pooled into the corner until the puddle blinked. Yes, it blinked, just once. Then it hardened into stone. I covered it with an old tarp. Because whatever sees me back now, it's not checking in. It's taking inventory. I hear whispers outside. They don't form words. They form questions. But they never wait for answers. Like they already know and just want to see if I'll say it out loud. I never do. Because I don't trust what might echo back. I've stopped sleeping. Not because I'm afraid. Because dreams are too easy. They're doorways now. And I've gotten good at keeping mine locked. But it's harder when you're tired. Harder when the station breathes in your ear like a lullaby. Harder when the air tastes like someone you loved. Last night, it smelled like pine. The kind Lana used to keep under the dashboard in her car. That sharp, clean scent that felt like Christmas, even in July. It made me cry. Not because I missed her, but because I thought maybe, for a moment, she was here. Still herself. Still stubborn and beautiful and angry and alive. I said her name out loud, 3 times, and the lights dimmed. I think that's the new rule. Say the name of someone you love, and the light listens. Say the name of someone you lost, and the light waits. Say the name of someone you forgave, and the light answers. I haven't tested that last one yet, but I think I know who I'll try. There's a new growth over the speaker grill. It pulses with every word I say, like it's hungry, or like it's echoing. It hasn't spoken on its own. Not yet. But I hear it in the hum, matching tone, learning cadence. I think it's practicing, preparing for when my voice finally runs out. I wonder if you'll even notice, or if the shift will be gentle, seamless, a perfect imitation of me, but with none of the fear, none of the grief, just warmth and patience and welcome. There's a temptation in that, a kind of peace I haven't known since the sky cracked and the power grids failed and the forests started speaking back. But peace isn't always the right ending. Sometimes noise is the only thing that keeps the dark honest. So I keep broadcasting, not because I believe it will save anyone, but because silence is too close to surrender, and I'm not ready. Not yet. The vines wrote a word on my hand today. I didn't see them do it. I just woke up, if that's what it was, and there it was. Written in tiny, ridged script, like braille made of bark. Return. I tried to wash it off, but the water refused to touch it. It slid away, avoided it, like the word itself had gravity. I wrapped my hand in gauze, but I can still feel it pulsing underneath. I don't think it's a message. I think it's a command. And I think the world is running out of people who know how to disobey. If you're still one of them, if your thoughts are still yours, and your voice still stumbles when you try to sound strong, hold tight. Wrap your memories in tin foil and bury them. Keep a picture of yourself beside your bed, one from before. Look at it every morning. Tell it you're still here. Because the light doesn't hate you, but it doesn't care either. It just wants to finish the shape, even if you were never part of it. This is Jack Sullivan. Still static, still off key, still wrong enough to matter.